Welcome back, Strawberry Milkshake. I thought I found a holy grail trader. I've been trading since 2011. So when I can see a competitive edge in someone, I look deep. And I found somebody who's been reporting on his daily portfolio movements for about 50 to 60 days. He turned $100,000 into $650,000 right now. And it was very interesting because it came across my Twitter thread, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, I'm going to go research what he's doing because I want to learn. I want to see, how did he get into these projects? What's he using to filter, right? When did he get in? What is he doing? So I started from day one. I went all the way back. And yeah, it is a bit too good to be true. I found out the critical point where he made his portfolio go up. And I'm going to use Hex as a baseline here because we all know the price here and it's one of the deepest undervalued that you could buy. So he started with 100K. We're going to go through this together, baby doll friends. He started with 100K. He's trying to get it to 10 million. All right. Now, I want you to know 99% of the challenges you see on Twitter and YouTube, they're all by grifters. All right. This person's not a grifter. He's a kind person. But you will see other influencers, they'll make a challenge and then they'll just quit on it. All right. I'm not going to name any names, but many YouTube influencers, they do this and they do these challenges and they failed like 10. I'm not even joking. They just kept failing and failing. But when you tell them, hey man, what happened to your challenge? You've been basically grifting everyone. They'll just block you. So they'll just block people. And then what they're doing is they're making this challenge so people start following them. It's like a little illicit substance, a drug hit. So you start following them and then you sign up to their leverage trading exchange and then you find out they suck, but you're still following them, right? And they're like, oh, they don't even talk about their losses. They just move on. And they're just doing this to just gather bigger schools of fish, which is unfortunately the people who will get harmed. 99% of people lose in trading. We know all the stats, especially leverage trading, okay? So when I started seeing these numbers, I wanted to investigate because it's on chain. Right, so you're like, wow, how could you do this? This is, he's showing his own portfolio. And if you're listening out here, Mr. DeFi Maestro, I commend you for showing everyone your portfolio, but you got to be careful because a lot of people will just start copying, right? But all my baby doll listeners, you're going to find out it ain't exactly what you think it is, all right? So look at this. He does a lot of frequent portfolio trading. So from the 100K, it's up to 650K. So I already know from trading, friends, I've day traded since 2011. And I realized very late in the game, right? By the way, no one teaches you this, that you're actually better off buying and holding long term. Okay. No one tells you this, especially in crypto. Especially. Doesn't even come close. And we're going to see. All right? But it takes time for you to see the fluctuations because you're going to see a portfolio go sideways for 9 months thinking you're in the wrong path. But no. You're supposed to be holding into year 3. Year 4, year 5, year 6, that's when the compounding starts really happening for you, all right? But if you're too weak, if you're a little low testosterone girl, if you have a curved back and you don't wear fluffy slippers, just leave. Just sell and leave because you're not going to make it. Because I get a lot of DMs every day. Oh, the price is down. Yes, welcome. If the price went up all the time, nobody would trade. Okay, get that through your head. So this person, this trader, he does a lot of research into DeFi projects. I call it, he's finding out where the newest mid-curve money will flow. Right now, I use the term mid-curve. He doesn't use the term mid-curve. I know it's mid-curve money. Why? I was here, DeFi season 2020. It was new back then. Compound started, Uniswap was around, and everything was new and fresh. No one knew what was going on. A lot of people bought the coins. Ethereum maxis dumped on everyone. They rotated into ETH, but everybody was left holding the bags. They sold the lows and went into other things. They didn't know what to do. All right, it was very horrific for a lot of people, and nothing ever continued from that point. All the DeFi coins are down only since then. Can't even hold their value to ETH. They're not even shipping as fast. They're not reducing products. And that's because the founders got too rich. So we all learned the hard way. Oh my God. Even though these things are decentralized, it doesn't mean these people are not human, right? So I've told you this story because I want you to know all of these are one season pump and dumps. And you're actually going to see this happening live in front of you, okay? So I have some backdrop and some story here. So Mr. DeFi Maestro, he started the challenge at the end of January. So it was literally right before crypto took off out of the bear market. Like right. All right. But let's go through. So I noticed he made this thread. He keeps talking about Joe in his thread. So Joe is a decentralized exchange. It's the Uniswap of Avalanche. And we already know Avalanche is snow themed. It's not going to make it to the very end. But look at this, all right? So I was noticing he's talking a lot about Joe, and I wanted to see, wow, is there a 50x opportunity that I'm missing here? And I want to read this to you with you, friends. So I'm going to zoom in so we can see this together because we're kind baby doll friends. And we're going to move this in together. So look at this, friends. Look at this. All right. He says here, all right, mega thread on Joe. So he makes a big thread on Joe. The Trader Joe team has been shipping non-stop during the bear, and I firmly think they are well positioned to explode in the coming weeks. This thread will dissect the key features and why I am so effing bullish on Joe. And here I am firing up like, wow, maybe there's something going on here, friends. Is there something going on? Because your friend, Baby Doll Somi over here, when I say explosion, look at my portfolio here. Alpha, 89x, all right? Chi, 21x. This is US dollar on the right-hand side. Look at this. You have 108x from Solana. I have explosive moves here. My portfolio from last alt seasons, right, was so explosive that I did not bother writing anything less than a 4x versus Bitcoin, right? The lowest here is FTT, 4.2x versus Bitcoin, which is 8.4x on US dollar, right? So that's the lowest. That was my cutoff. I was like, I didn't even know I was ever going to make a tweet or anything. And I just made it. I'm like, whatever. I'll just decide to note it. So when I'm thinking explosion, you know what I'm talking about, friends. We got a straight back. The banana is peeled. You have your fluffy slippers. Your socks are warm. You got your mittens on. So boy, was I disappointed to see Mr. DeFi Maestro selling his Joe for an 80% gain. Okay. I was like, what? I'm missing something. Was this on leverage? What's going on here? Right. And as I dig deeper through this video with you, you're going to see why this is very important. Okay. Him buying around here and accumulating and selling up here, it's very important because you're going to see that this was actually most of the returns. Right. Now, luckily, I do my research. I want to show you because, friends, a lot of people out there, they're just jealous. They just want to hate everyone. But me, I want to love everyone. I want to have friendships. If someone is good, I want to learn. I want to feel him. If I get empowered, I will empower you. You can already tell that by my videos, by the way. You know, evil people want to take power away from you. That's why influencers who send you to leverage trading exchanges, they're evil. They want to remove power from you. They know you have a 99% failure rate. They know that. 99 out of 100 people will get their heads chopped off at the exchanges. They know these statistics. They want to remove power from you. I am trying to empower you. And I don't care if I never make a cent out of it because I'm not here for that. Because why? I can empower myself. I practice what I preach, right? Now, have a look at this. This is the Joe chart. Like, I want you to know, look where he makes his thread. Look, he makes his thread. See where the green little arrow is? He makes his thread there. Now, if you didn't know the right-hand side of this chart, right, what happens next, this little thing, you would think, oh my God, this guy is so bullish on it. It's 20 cents. He'd probably think it's going to go all the way back to $4. That's a 20x. Woohoo! All right, so, okay, here we go. Watch. Now, he mentions here, right, this was recently, right? So I'm going back in time. He goes, thoughts, new all-time high in his portfolio, mainly thanks to Joe. I'm still bullish on it, but I don't like this Binance perpetual listing for Joe. Joe still has relatively thin. So he's just basically, this is what people do, right? They see the profit, they get out, and they come from a news event, and they're like, oh, I don't like it because of this, right? If you're in Hex, a relevant example is people saying, oh, I don't like how the Pulse chain doesn't have all the features, so I'm out, right? No. Don't believe people, friends. I've been in the game long enough, all right? I know people inside out. They see the portfolio number first, they get out, and then they say, oh, I got out because, right? I had to get out for reason A, B, C. You'll always hear that, okay? Don't believe any of that. That's just like when you open up Bloomberg when Bitcoin's gone up and you're like, okay, what bullshit reason did they give for us today? Okay, we went down. Okay, like India banned Bitcoin for the 19th time. You understand none of these have any correlation, okay? The most important part was the price, all right? The value. The price and value is the same thing. The price of his portfolio went up. He got out. That's it, okay? And then he's just rationalizing, okay? So why I'm sharing this with you, don't think, okay, if I'm in a coin and there's like a listing somewhere, I should get out, right? So, for example, if you're holding Hex, don't think, oh, MEXC listed Hex, that's a bearish signal top, right? If you constantly play this game, yeah, you get some wins here and there. You're gonna get crushed long term, crushed when you need it the most, all right? So, moving on, right? As we go on, I've made an arrow here where the challenge started. The challenge started at 2.5 cent Hex. So if you had 100K, right, you could have put in 100K into Hex here. And yeah, up the top, right, you can even see, right, up the top you would have 500K. Now you're back down to 300K, all right? Now, I can't believe I have to say this time and time again. If you honestly think any portfolio quote that you're going to see in the next 18 months is relevant, you are not going to make it in this game. I'll tell you right now, right? You're not going to make it. Right? It's just like if you wanted to be a world champion boxer and then I punch you in the ribs, right? And you don't want to fight, you don't want to train the next day. I'll tell you, well, if copping a punch to the ribs makes you feel like you don't want to train, you are not going to make it in this game at all. I'll tell you now, just quit now. It's the same thing. These are short-term fluctuations. The best way I can put it to you is this. If the market went up in a straight line the whole time, nobody would trade. No one would trade. But you got to know. Who do you know retires? It's the buyers and holders, man. All right. I don't make this up. The stats that we know, we can see thousands of people on chain who buy and hold, they win. We're all the traders, right? So I've got to build this case because you're going to see some cool stuff, right? You're going to see some cool stuff. So we have a reference point I want to see. And going through the trader, right? I went through his old posts, okay? So I found on his old posts, so as I mentioned, right, he makes his mega thread on Joe and why he's insanely bullish, right? And I tracked the trades, and as you just saw, he sells for 80% gain, right? So then I started going back through day one. I went through like every single trade, right? And you're going to see something, right? You're going to see something, friends. So look at this. Since January to March 10th, all right, he's only up 2x. Okay, 2x. So I'm going to go back to this chart. So it's like all the way to March. So when Hex was basically almost 9.5 cents, he was up 2x this whole time. All right. So I'm going to just do this measurement now. You can do this with any coin. Doesn't really matter. I'm just using Hex because it moved wild. That's it. So around here, about up at 2x. All right. So it's up 2x the whole time. But then this is what happens. This is the crazy part, right? He had different portfolio coins, you know, like Radiant and some other like Arbitrum stuff. Don't really focus on them, okay? Because the time on them is running out. Arbitrum's is still the news event, right? He basically rotates a big fat chunk. He goes nearly all in on Joe. he has like a $400,000 position. He makes money on Radiant, which like pops, and then he rotates all of his other money plus the Radiant into Joe. And I actually drew circles about him doing it and tweeting it, right? So here we are. So I have the circles here, right? So he was already in Joe, and you're going to see this arrow here, see this circle here? He basically adds harder there. He goes mega deeper in, right? So I've written here. He starts going mega aggressive here, and he's fully all in, adds to his bag at 40 cents. So he's playing momentum. He's going with momentum, trading, and we're going to read this top part. Sells everything and tweets, no longer mega bullish on this because of this thing. So you see this and you're like, wow, that's great. And it is, obviously, it's great. You went with momentum, you played it, and then you sold on the Binance listing, all right? But you need to have an appreciation, friends, for if you run this scenario with 100 people 10 times, you basically get what, like 5 people who make it? No, like three people who make it that many times, okay? It's so easy to slip up once. Just once. So you can see this is a weekly chart. Look where he's selling and playing these little candles down here, right? Now, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm still baffled, like making a full mega thread. Like, I am so mega bullish on that thing going up. Like, you're like, wow, yay, 80%, woohoo. You're not going to make it, friends. You're not. You really got to stick to the game, all right? The game is, I've told you 1,000 times. By the way, I make no money off you. Got to remind you, I don't care. I'm trying to help you, all right? A lot of you do listen. There's a few people a bit crazy. I understand the volatility is enough. It's too much for you to stomach. You sell, buy, 2x. Oh, see, I sold high, I bought back low. No one cares about you, man. I've seen this game time and time again. You're not going to win, all right? Come back in 3 years. Find me the traders who have outperformed everyone. Where are they? Where are they? Well, you can name like 5 people in your hand, maybe 10, and you don't even have their results. You just got to trust them. From YouTube or Twitter or anything. You got to trust them, all right? But I can actually go on chain and show you, oh, wow, these people killed it, buy and hold. What do? Okay, they bought 3-4 years ago and they just held it to now. We can actually show you the evidence. So playing these little short-term games and making these, I am so hyper bullish tweets and then actually getting out here like, oh, wow, explosion. What's your time frame, friends? You're not going to make it if your time frame is short. So I went through all the trades, everything, and that's what it basically came down to, right? So the portfolio, yeah, it's doing good. You can actually see what I'm talking about here, right? Look, portfolio starts accelerating up here. So, you know what I mean? Like, oh, 2x, 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 and then bang, right? Now, what I've done is, I just as a reminder, because I want to check back on this in 18 months, right? You're actually going to need more time than that because it might take you like 2-3 years. But I've actually got a tweet here, right? So it'll be fun to see if he can outperform hodling. I've got a scheduled post for 18 months so we can check back and see. And like I said, we all know 99% of people, they're not going to win. You're not going to win. You can win from periods of time, yes. But I'm letting you know, one wrong move, it's over, friends. It's over, you know? So, you know, as he was getting all in, literally as he was getting all in, all up here, who's to say, like, what if a rug happened, right? What if a rug happened and then he has to paper hand the low? Or maybe he's just holding, okay? The problem is no person who manages risk would sit there rationally through all these swings, right? No one. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you see something pull back 30%, these are tiny, by the way, 25%, like I've shown you the SHIB chart. You have to sit through like minus 85, 90% drops. And we've seen it in Hex as well. So no one who's risking 1 to make 2 consistently, it doesn't make sense to keep getting out on that. You can't, right? By the way, what I'm saying is you should be getting out on that. If a rational trader would be getting out when their risk is breached to the downside, right? But if you keep running this scenario, you never capture the upside. What you're doing is you're constantly manage risk and you're constantly getting out. But through the passage of time, after 2-3 years have passed, somehow these assets are up wildly more than you trying to trade, right? So it is a good effort to see this. And I love exploring and seeing and his chain and everything. He's showing everything on chain. But at the end of the day, looking through this, I mean, I hope it goes well because you never know, man. Maybe I'm watching him. Maybe he gets on top of a coin, some mid-curve DeFi coin, and I can see, oh, wow, this might go like a 3x or something in the future. Like, the more information, the better. But at the end of the day, I've just shown you, like, I've gone through this. Like, what are you in here to do, friends? Like, do you honestly think I would have made any of these, right? These are the only ones, but these are the ones I actually posted on Twitter to exit. That's the only one. There are others that I've completely forgotten about, right? Because I've just rotated them all. But do you honestly think you are going to get anywhere near a portfolio that can do this if you are getting out, trying to trade short-term, hyper-moving, this and that? These are all one moves, by the way. Buy in 2020, sell 2021. That's it. Now, if these coins existed earlier and if I knew about alt season and what to do and how to use Uniswap in 2019, etc., I would be in them earlier. I just wasn't. It's just when I discovered them, I knew we had to take advantage of the edge, right? So if you look at, friends, if you look at the biggest, big accounts, I've seen this, right? I've seen big trading accounts who are like the best of the best. And what's funny, right? If we go back, I'm just going to show you Ethereum, right? I'm not joking, friends. I've seen accounts, right? Like the best of the best trading, right? They had like 100 to 180K here. and they turned it into like, now they have like 4 million, all right? Now, the good thing is they don't have the price swing, right? So their account is still like 4 million, right? From like 200K. So what's that, like a 20x? So you do like 4 divided by 0.2. Yeah, 20x. Now, you have to understand that when you see this person who's winning, you're looking at the best of the best, right? You're looking at somebody who has clear, definitive edge. And I want you to know, as we travel through the passage of time, this person was able, whenever their edge starts to dwindle, which it always does, they're able to find how to tweak it and stay on top of the game. Okay. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, I'm not even joking. Okay, take your 180K. You're up 30x at the top, by the way. I didn't even know that. How about that, friends? How about that? I didn't even do this. Should have just done this. Wow, here we go. Like, if Ethereum gets back to the top, these people who made 18 to 20x their accounts with big money, like, they're still underperforming Ethereum, and we already know there's better altcoins to do that with. So, and you got to be working 24 hours a day, right? And there's a lot of things that go into this that you don't know. All of this to underperform, right? So effectively what you're doing is you're working for the opportunity to have a smooth portfolio during downswings. That's actually what you're working for. And you might say, hey, that's worth a lot to me. It is. Okay, but can you do it? For 100 people, 3 of us are going to do it. 3 to 5. The other 95 aren't. I don't care about those 3 to 5, and you shouldn't either. Okay? I care about the bottom 95. Don't listen to these influencers, leverage trading, all this biz-baz, short-term trading, up, down, left, right? The person I showed you, for 95% of his account, 99, there was no leverage, which was good. Okay, he's doing spot, he's yield farming, LPs, this or that. But the truth gets revealed, friends. Like, hyper mega bullish, and he started aggressively adding here to get out, right? So that's the truth. That's what you actually need. You need to, like, go with momentum, do a hyper hard trade. That's why you got to shake your head and think, okay, what options do you have to make it, right? Either be in the top 3% of trading, or say, all right, I'm just going to hold longer than everyone else, right? And it's not hard, friends, because the average person is only holding between 30 and 180 days. Go check the stats yourself. I'm not even making this up. The average person is holding for 30 to 180 days. But the average is 180 days because people hold for 5 to 10 years, and that skews the number up. So most retailers are only holding between 1 and 3 months, right? And then you skew it up to 6 months, right? But that's where the retailers are, 1 to 3 months. And you can see why, all this trading, right? So I'm glad we're able to find someone successful, right? Successful doing this. And I'll be honest, I'm not even going to follow now because I'm there to track, but seeing what he did, I'm like, well, if I want those returns, I don't want to put 90% into a trade, this and that, right? So you might say, hey, but you're all in on other coins too. Yeah, but here's the difference. I've got 1,000 hours behind them. I actually hold, right? I'm not getting out on 80%. I didn't sell Hex when it went to 10 to 12 cents. I'm here for $2. And worst case, 70 cents. Worst case, I think eHex 70 cents, pHex 70 cents. That's equivalent to $1.40. I think you should be smiling there. This is one example. Same as Chainlink, $180 minimum. Okay, from now, that's like what, 15 to 25x. These are the gains. This is the position you're going to be in, taken advantage of in the next bull market. Playing these little momentum games, they're so short and fast, friends, and they take time. You can't do everything at once. All right. So what you're left with is an option. Okay. Do you want to play in the game where, okay, 99% of people fail and underperform hodling, or do you want to play the game where you can see on chain that most people who do this, there's thousands and thousands of wallets, they are the ones who end up winning, okay? And at the end of the day, you know as well as I do, the only person who wins is us, because we'll always have our friendship. Tell your mum and your dad that you love them.